Well met, everyone. I am Rich the Lich, and today we're going to take a look at Legends of Runeterra, Dark Tides of Bilgewater. This is an entirely new, completely free, accessible only on D&D Beyond, but I believe as long as you go to dndbeyond.com, it'll be on the front page. You can just click on this and browse through it and use this content all you want. So what do we have here? It says, encounter the world of Runeterra as you never have before in an interactive exploration of Bilgewater, made for 5th edition and integrated fully into D&D Beyond. I'm going to talk through very quickly what's here, what is accessible by all. If you go to the front page, that's what you get right there. Explore Runeterra. Click on it. It gives you these two little sections that you can click on. This one downloads Legends of Runeterra. Runeterra is the world of League of Legends, basically. The game Legends of Runeterra is Riot Games, the creator of League of Legends. It is their version of Hearthstone, basically. It's their new digital card game. And I don't know what the business relationship is here, but now what's happening is we're getting this free content where they've taken some of the world and the story, and most importantly, Bilgewater, which is a city, a port city within the world of Runeterra, and they brought this over into the 5th edition D&D space completely for free. There's an adventure here. There's some new monsters here, some new magic items. There's 3 new subclasses. But I think most importantly is the way it's kind of worded, and as you go through it, it's definitely presenting this towards a bunch of League of Legends players and fans, perhaps, right? There's hundreds of millions out there probably. And hey, here's how you can start playing D&D right now. Here's some books that you might want to look into. People that are brand new to D&D. But even for people like us, right? Players, DMs, people that have played D&D, because you've got some new subclasses, there's some new content here that we might be able to take with us into our own world, into our own games. But most importantly, the excitement of this relationship between something as successful as League of Legends. And now what you're doing is you're introducing video game players to D&D, but you're also using the wealth of content and champions and artwork and the resources from Riot Games. And what's being created here is a little snippet of some interest, and maybe they're just feeling out how this might be received, and it's creating this excitement. So far, the reviews on this stuff is pretty damn good, and the amount of content that's here entirely for free makes me excited to read and one day perhaps open up that 400 page book of a new D&D setting based on League of Legends. Okay, so what we have is we have this new adventure. There's 5 chapters. Chapter 1 is basically the setting guide. It's talking to you about Bilgewater. What is Bilgewater? Very quickly, if I went over to the universe of League of Legends itself, as I said, the new card game, the Hearthstone version of Riot Games' foray into that digital card game space, is called Legends of Runeterra. Runeterra is the world. Okay, that's the place where all of the League of Legends sort of lore and story takes place. Bilgewater, nestled away in the Blue Flame Isles archipelago, Bilgewater is a port city like no other, home to serpent hunters, dock gangs, and smugglers from across the known world. Here, fortunes are made and ambitions shattered in the blink of an eye. For those fleeing justice, debt, or persecution, Bilgewater can be a place of new beginnings, for no one on these twisted streets cares about your past. Even so, with each new dawn, careless travelers can always be found floating in the harbor, their purses empty and their throats slit. While incredibly dangerous, Bilgewater is ripe with opportunity, free from the shackles of formal government and trade regulation. If you have the coin, almost anything can be purchased here, from outlawed hex tech to the favor of local crime lords. With the recent removal of the last Reaver King of Bilgewater, the city has entered a period of transition, while the most prominent captains try to agree on its future. But as long as there are seaworthy ships and crews to sail them, Bilgewater is likely to remain one of the most colorful and well-connected places in Runeterra. That is what the city of Bilgewater is. As we get into this new content, Chapter 1 is basically the setting guide. It's giving us the interesting places within the port city of Bilgewater. Here's the history on it. You have really cool artwork. That's one thing that I'd be excited to see in this setting book. The amount of resources that I know Riot Games has, both between their internal art department and the people that they've had, the various companies they've had draw things from their IP, is world class. You know, I mean, you've got the best concept artists in the world that work for Riot Games and work with them. So the amount of artwork, and I mean, look at the level of detail here. I mean, this is beautiful, beautiful stuff. So you're going to get all of these little bits in this first chapter 1 about the factions, sort of the who's who. Here's some enemies and allies of the city of Bilgewater. Economy and trade, what is that like? I mean, these things just spark fuel, right? You know, they spark content that I might want to create as a DM. Especially just someone that already knows the game of D&D, but I want to kind of delve into this world a little bit more. Monster hunters, salvage divers, piracy. I mean, look at this artwork. It's world-class stuff. Really, really well done. So you have all of this stuff, and that's what you're going to find here. But I like that it presents, you have Rat Town, right, which is one of the districts within the city of Bilgewater. And then there are certain points where you have these little pop-ups of these little scrolls here, where this is Iron Wills. This is a low-level adventure hook, something that you can latch onto and bring to your table right now. And as you mouse over, since we're dealing with the D&D Beyond interface, you're going to be able to see, you know, the NPC stat blocks and so on. And it just keeps doing that. And the flop houses, though not necessarily a section within Rat Town, the flop houses are nonetheless a prominent feature of the district. Many monster hunters and pirates down on their luck call these cheap tenements home in between dreary voyages. You want a low-level quest? Let's go with this sickbay thing. You want a mid-level? Let's use this one called Upsetting the Yeti. You read through this. Here's your stat block. Bring it to the table. Okay? And it does that throughout. Really cool artwork. Like I said, I mean, it just gives us an immediate idea and the essence of what this area, this district might be. Little paragraphs on some stuff that you might be able to run with as a DM. And then a bunch of little adventure hooks. I mean, there's a bunch here. I love this part here, random encounters. If you just... Bilgewater is host to a colorful collection of people and dangers. This section describes some encounters that may occur while spending time in Bilgewater. You can roll a d20, and as you click on each of these, there's some content here. A giant octopus has escaped one of the kill houses and is attacking people on the streets. If I roll nightlife, there it is. If I roll one of the gang, I roll a 6 on that d20. The party is approached by a bandit named Ophelia Landry, who's loyal to Gangplank. She has noticed the party's capabilities and wants to gauge if they would be interested in joining the captain's supporters. There's some artwork to boot. So you've just got, I love these random charts of just creating some adventure and story within the city of Bilgewater. Okay? That's chapter 1, introduction and some interesting parts with the regions and the districts. Chapter 2, Heroes and Scoundrels. There's no new races here, but it kind of brings up of ways of bringing in some currently existing stuff, okay? It really tries to walk new players through all of this, okay? It basically says, create a character of your own is easy. Start by opening D&D Beyond Character Builder, choose human, select barbarian, fighter, or rogue, so on and so forth. But it says there's 12 classes in D&D, and 3 of them have Bilgewater-specific subclasses. You can find all these classes in the D&D basic rules. There are even more subclasses for all 12 in the player's handbook, some of which would fit Bilgewater perfectly, like a Tempest Domain Cleric or a Warlock whose patron is a Great Old One. So it's just showing you, hey, if you're brand new to D&D, but you're a fan of League of Legends, and you want to play in this world, start here. It's kind of giving you that template, that flow to go through. But for people that want to use Bilgewater that know the game of D&D, it's kind of weaving its way through, saying here's some things that you already know about from Xanathars or other books and how they might fit within the world. There aren't new races here, but it does mention that other than humans, in the world of Runeterra, you get these 3-foot-tall little people covered in thick fur known as Yordles, and it says here, the gnome race in D&D is a great fit for Yordle. So you're not getting any new races, but it's showing you how to take some existing stuff and fit it within Runeterra. As far as new stuff, though, you will get Path of the Depths. Let's see. New Barbarian subclass. Encounters with the terrors of the deep can break minds of the weak-willed, but some forge their trauma into weapons never seen above the waves. The barbarian who walks this path has survived such an encounter and has gained extraordinary abilities from the experience. Obviously, this is something that they're leaning you towards. If you're new to D&D and you want to play a barbarian and you want to kind of adventure within Runeterra and specifically Bilgewater, play this barbarian. But, of course, I mean, there's nothing that says, you know, that a DM can't just say, hey, Path of the Depths from this new content is allowable in my current world, you know, especially if you're playing like in Ghosts of Saltmarsh or something. This would easily fit. So let's see what's here. You have this ability called Gift of the Drowned Ones. At 3rd level, when you adopt this path, you gain a swimming speed equal to your walking, and you gain the ability to breathe underwater. Cool. Dredge Line. Starting at 3rd level, you manifest an extra appendage when you enter your rage. It can be a Kraken Tentacle, a Giant Anchor, some Jaws, something else based on your history. As a bonus action, you can use this to strike one creature of your choice that you can see within 15 feet. The target must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pulled up to 10 feet in a straight line towards you. Okay, so it has that real... What is the... I forget what it's called. The Death Knight from World of Warcraft has it. Pulls the guy towards you. That's kind of cool, though. Ghostwater Dive. At 6th level, you can burst into water, then materialize somewhere else as an action. You magically teleport, along with any equipment you're wearing or carrying, up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. Before or after teleporting, you can make one attack as part of your action. Moving in this way does not provoke attacks of opportunity. Wait a minute. Beginning, you burst into water, then materialize somewhere else. I have to kind of wrangle through that. I guess you have to have water nearby to do that first. And then you go in the water and then you leave. Whatever. It's cool though. Manifestations of the Deep at 10th level. You can manifest additional adaptations of the Deep. Select one of the below adaptations you manifest. Eyes of the Deep, Arms of the Deep. So this is kind of a lot like I think it's the Simic hybrid where you pick these things up in Ravnica. So Heart of the Deep. On your turn, you can use bonus action temporary hit points equal to 1d12 plus your barbarian level per short or long rest. So cool. At 10th level, you just get these new different things that you can get. Armor of the Deep. Your skin hardens, increasing your AC by 1. Select 1. Oh, okay. During a long rest, you may replace with a new option. So you get to kind of choose different things. I like that. That sounds a lot like, not only do you have a little bit of that Simic hybrid from Ravnica, but it's almost a little bit of just sort of that choice of the way the Warforged used to be from Eberron, I think, where after a rest, you can kind of change what your armor type is depending on the situation you're going into. That's kind of neat. And then Depth Charge. At 14th level, when you use your Ghostwater Dive ability, that's the one I wasn't able to wrangle through. You can choose to appear with a wave of tidal force. When you appear, all creatures within 10 feet of you must make a saving throw, otherwise they take 3d6 force and they're knocked prone. Wow, really neat. So, kind of interesting. Path of the Depths Barbarian. Obviously it fits here, and you might be able to use that in something like Ghost of Saltmarsh. Especially like Ghostwater Dive, and then your 14th level ability is sort of based on water. So it's maybe not going to fit in some place like an Athos or something like that where you're only in the desert, right? You're going to need to have some aquatic adventures. Martial Archetype Renegade. This is the new fighter. What defines a renegade is not simply the weapon they wield or the ways they fight. A renegade, above all else, is a fighter of sly charm and swagger. Scoundrels Wit. Starting at 3rd level, you gain proficiency with 2 of the following skills. Deception, Persuasion, or Sleight of Hand. Pick 2. Gunfighter Form. This is where, as I'm scrolling down, there's a lot here, guys. Check this out. When you choose this at 3rd level, you begin constructing a custom firearm that suits your unique brand of renegade style. This process begins by selecting the form upon which to base your weapon. Choose one of the following options. Each form grants you a new ability and unlocks certain upgrades you can add to your weapon at higher levels. You can be a pistolier, favoring speed and style over raw power. You wield a small flintlock. As an action, you can target a creature within 30 feet and shoot. Range attack roll. You are proficient with it. On a hit, 1d6 plus dex piercing damage. Okay. Number of shots you can fire during a single action increases when you reach higher levels. 2 at 5th, 3 at 11th, 4 at 20th. I'm guessing that's kind of the same as the fighter extra attack stuff, right? The shots can target the same creature or a different creature. Cool. Sniper. You have a large two-handed firearm. A renegade who adopts the sniper can inflict massive damage. As an action, now you have 120-foot range. Make a range attacks roll, same thing, but it's a 1d10 plus dex. So you're getting these sort of just range combat abilities, right? In a certain sense, you might think, why not just use a bow and be like a bow fighter, whatever. So again, you get extra attacks, and you're dealing extra damage. 2d10 plus your dex modifier at 5th. So your damage goes up. Weapon of choice. Through a combination of salvaging stolen pieces of arcane tech and sheer rakish ingenuity, you can customize your firearm with various upgrades. When you choose this at 3rd level, pick 1 minor upgrade and 1 major. Okay, so not only do you pick which sort of gun that you're going to be using, what's your weapon of choice, or what gun you're going to use, you also get to pick something called weapon of choice where you get to have these upgrades. You gain 1 additional minor upgrade at 5th and 1 major at 10th. So that's down here. Here's your upgrades. Unlike many tinkers who labor studiously in their workshops, You get a new sort of firearm save DC. Minor, blade and black powder. You need to be a pistol guy. You create a matching blade to accompany your firearm. Being within 5 feet of a hostile creature doesn't impose disadvantage on your range attack rolls. Additionally, when you use your action to shoot your gunfighter form, you can use your bonus action to strike at a creature within melee range. Make a melee attack roll, so on and so forth. The other one you can pick up is a caliber net. By repurposing some salvaged Hextech parts, they make a strength saving throw, or you can restrain them with it. At the end of each of its turns, they can repeat that saving throw. You have collateral damage. This one is only for sniper. When you hit a target with a successful attack from your firearm, all within 5 feet of the target must succeed or take 1d6 piercing. All. It's kind of cool. You equip your firearm with a targeting mechanism. If you haven't moved this turn, you can aim down your sights as a bonus action. You just have to be 5th level. Reducing your speed to 0 and granting you advantage on all attacks you make using your gunfighter's form until the end of your turn. Double barrel, sniper. You have to have the long-range firearm. You add a second barrel. Of course, why not? You can shoot twice during a single action instead of once. Make a separate attack roll for each. And then you have something called the smoke screen. As an action, you alter the firing mechanism of your gun. It's a 10-foot cube. Area is covered, heavily obscured. All right? So there's your minor. Remember, you get one as soon as you pick this subclass. And then you get another minor at 5th level. Major, you get to pick one of the majors as soon as you pick the subclass as well. Barrage, as an action, there's no prerequisite here, you just get it. Each creature in a 15-foot cone makes a dex saving throw. They take piercing damage equal to 3d10 plus your dex modifier. Once you use it, you have to finish a short or long to do it again. Double up. You can immediately cause the bullet to hit another creature within 15 feet of the original target. The second target takes piercing damage equal to your dex modifier. Okay? And you can redirect it a number of times equal to your charisma modifier. So notice you're a fighter, but you have some things that play off of different stats here. Lightning round. Kind of like it sounds. Lightning fires from you in a straight line, 1 foot wide, 30 feet long. Each creature must make a dex save, otherwise they take 3d8 lightning damage. These are major upgrades. And notice, all of these don't have whether it's for pistol or long-range rifle, the sniper thing. So you just pick which one you want. Trial by fire as a bonus action. You can charge your weapons with blazing force. Until the start of your next turn, whenever you make a successful attack, you deal fire damage equal to half your fighter level rounded up. You can charge your weapons this way a number of times equal to the charisma modifier, and you regain it all after a short or a long. So you have all these new upgrades that you can add, right? That's what you get when you choose at 3rd level the subclass. You get to choose whether you want to be a pistol guy or a long-range guy, sniper. You get one of those minor and major upgrades. You'll get additional ones at 5th and 10th level. And also, at 7th level, you have this ability called Cunning Shot. You learn to exploit a foe's weak points, even if they appear to have none. The damage dealt by your firearm, including damage dealt via your upgrades, ignores resistances and immunities. Wow. Grin and Bear It at 10th level. Brace yourself in the heat of battle, even when gravely wounded. When you use your second win, remember you're still a fighter, your AC gains +1 bonus and your movement speed goes up by 10. Right gun for the job at 15th level. Your skill with your firearm can adapt to any situation. When you finish a long rest, you can replace any of your firearms upgrades with a different one, though you cannot have more than 2 major upgrades equipped at a time. You have to still meet the prerequisites, okay? And then light them up at 18th level. As a bonus action, you can either throw or set down a small explosive. The explosive can be detonated remotely. 12d6, just boom, boom, boom. All right? Really cool stuff there. So that's the new Renegade. Really different. I like it. I like it a lot. You know, it's not just a range fighter. I mean, it's those upgrades and the various things like that, you know, sitting yourself in place and not being able to move, but you get advantage on all your attacks, plus playing off of the regular fighter stuff where you're getting all these multiple attacks and just, all right? Let's take a look at the wild card. Sounds really cool. Some rogues favor honing their skill and precision. Others perfect a silver tongue. But you, well, you've always gotten a kick out of leaving things up to chance. Rogues of the wild card variety thrive on the high stakes and random thrill of the game table. Let's see, tricks up the sleeve. You can subtly manipulate fortune to your favor. When you choose this archetype at 3rd level, you learn the guidance cantrip. Gives you an extra d4 to ability rolls, right? That's really cool. Starting at 9th level, it has a range of 30 feet for you, and you can cast it as a bonus action. All right. At 3rd level, you gain proficiency with a gaming set. Okay, cool. Loaded dice. You gain a pool of d6s equal to the number of d6s you roll for your sneak attack damage. Your pool starts with 2d6 at 3rd level and increases to 3d6 at 5th level, and so on, right? Just like sneak attack. When a creature targets you with an attack, you can use your reaction to spend 1 die from the pool and subtract the number rolled from the attack. You can choose to use this feature after the creature makes its roll, but before the DM decides whether it hits or not. Starting at 9th level, you can spend up to 2 dice from the pool. Starting at 17th, you can spend up to 3. You regain all expended dice from your loaded dice pool when you complete a long rest. Wow. Wow. Wow, that's powerful. I think it is. Dragon Chess. Your prowess of the chessboard has made you a skilled tactician on the battlefield. As a bonus action on your turn, you can execute one of the following chess maneuvers. You can use this a number of times equal to your charisma modifier. I like that it's playing with charisma a lot for these things. Okay? Dragon. Choose a creature you can see within 30 feet. The first time that creature makes a successful attack roll before the start of your next turn, they deal extra damage equal to your level in this class. Griffin. Your movement speed increases by 10 feet. N. Your movement does not provoke attacks of opportunity. Sylph. You and all friendly creatures within 5 feet of you have an advantage on dex saving throws until the start of your next turn. Playing cards. You've developed a fighting style based around the cartomancy of the Serpent Isles. You have your own deck of enchanted cards and can make their edges razor sharp with a flick of your wrist. You become Gambit. If you have not yet used your sneak attack this turn, you can use your action to take one of these cards and attack a creature within 30 feet of it. The attack roll for this feature uses your dex modifier. On a hit, it deals slashing damage equal to 1d4 plus dex mod. When you roll for damage, you look at the number rolled on that d4. The attack gains a random effect based on that number, as detailed in the wild card suit table below. You can attack using a card in this manner a number of times equal to your charisma modifier. So notice how important that is now as a stat for your rogues. And you regain all uses of this after a long rest. So, you throw a card. If you haven't used your sneak attack yet, you can use your action to take one of these cards and throw it at a creature within 30 feet. You roll d4 damage plus dex, and then on that d4 you get Blade. Roll your sneak attack damage and add it to your razor card's damage. At the start of its next turn, the target takes additional damage equal to half the sneak attack damage rolled. If you got a 2 on that d4. Shackle. Until the start of your next turn, the target speed is halved. It cannot make more than 1 attack on its turn while its speed is reduced this way. Heart. Roll your sneak attack damage and add it to your razor card's damage. You immediately regain a number of hit points equal to half the damage dealt. Wild Ace. This card morphs suits. This card morphs suits depending on the dealer's wishes. You get to choose one of the 3 effects that you want. Wow. Interesting. Very different. Shifting the odds. So that playing card ability is just something you get. It doesn't look like there's that's just part of when you don't have a sneak attack, you can throw cards instead. At 9th level, you're acutely aware of how to quit when you're ahead, vanishing in a flash when the odds begin to turn against you. As a bonus action, you can disappear with a dramatic flourish. Each creature within 10 feet of you must make a dex saving throw, taking 4d10 force on a failed or half as much on successful. You then teleport yourself to an unoccupied space that you can see within 120 feet. Once you have used this ability, you can't use it again until you finish a short or a long. That's at 9th level. These archetypes, these subclasses are ridiculous. I mean, I think the Renegade and the Rogue so far, the Barbarian's cool, but these two are insane. Twist of Fate. At 13th level, your mastery over the game table hones your speed and cunning in combat. After rolling initiative, but before the first turn of combat, you can choose to swap places in the initiative order with one creature you can see. If it's one of your allies, that ally must agree. Neat. Joker Wild. At 17th level, your mastery over chance encompasses even your own form, allowing you to exist between potential realities. As a bonus action on your turn, you can take on an incorporeal form, during which you gain the following benefits. You regain expended power for your wild card gambit thing. Your cards, your dragon chest, and your dice. You just get everything back. Your movement speed is doubled. You gain resistance to all damage. You're immune to grappled, paralyzed, stunned, restrained. You can move through objects and creatures as if they were difficult terrain. If you end your turn inside of a creature... What the hell, man? It lasts for a minute or until you're incapacitated. Once you use this feature, you can't do it again until you use a long rest. Wow. That's what you get in Chapter 2, folks. Interesting stuff there. Chapter 3 is the adventure itself. All right, and this is the full treatment. I don't see anything that indicates, number of players. Right here, sorry. Herald of Harrowing is an adventure designed for a party of 3rd level characters. The adventures can be broken down into the following points. And then you're going to get the normal, read this, the stuff in the boxes to your players. Really amazing artwork where it needs to be. Some places where there's a, appropriate map necessary, they're in here, like this. Okay, there's your adventure. That's chapter 3. So chapter 1, remember, is the sort of the city setting guide. Kind of as a DM to come up with your own adventure hooks, and it gives you those little sparks, adventure hooks, and low-level adventures and medium level. Chapter 2 is the new subclasses and that ridiculousness. Chapter 3 is the adventure. Chapter 4, you have some new monsters, and I've clicked on them. When I click on this guy, right there, it's only from this new content, so these are entirely new. You have an Abyssal Eye, GR3, awesome artwork. There isn't artwork for everyone, but they're pretty cool. Here's the Bark Beast. He's a CR 1/2, but he has a 2d6 necrotic drain that you lose max hit points if you fail your con save. So that just ramped up like the difficulty of a CR 1/2 monster. So there's some new tough stuff here. You have a new Dragon Shark. No picture there, but you have an Ironback. That's a CR 1. A Pool Shark. Really cool dude. All right. A Powder Monkey. I mean, come on. That just screams excitement right there. You don't know what they're doing, but something's going to blow up. Yeah, on a 4/6, Flash Powder, Explosive Excretion. You have a Wharf Rat, and then you have some NPCs, like Commander Ledros here, I think, is one of the NPCs that you'll find in the adventure. And then the two big ones are Misfortune. These are major champions from League of Legends, and Gangplank. Remember, it's designed for 3rd level, so if you want to incorporate these as sort of encounter level guys, you can, but it kind of suggests that you're probably not going to fight them, but we're going to offer you stats on how they might play into if you want your PCs to meet them and so on. So here's Misfortune. She's a CR 12 humanoid bandit type or something, and then Gangplank is also a CR 12, and there he is. So you've got, some new Abyssal Eye, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 7 new monsters and those 3 NPCs. And then finally, magic items. So, no major artwork to write home about. A lot of these look like kind of like icons from the video game League of Legends, but it's cool they give you something. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 new magic items. Adaptive Helm, which is an uncommon helm. You have an uncommon amulet called Banshee's Veil. A Bilgewater Cutlass. It's an uncommon scimitar. These curved blades trail golden light when swung through the air. +1 bonus to attack and damage. Made with this magic weapon. On a successful hit with the cutlass, the target speed is reduced by 10 feet until the start of your next turn. Kind of cool. Gives you something new for an uncommon weapon. You have a rare blade, which with a curse. I'm a fan of that stuff. Some new Boots of Swiftness. Base walking speed goes up by 10 feet. In addition, unaffected by difficult terrain, and spells and other magical effects can neither reduce your speed nor cause you to be restrained. That's kind of neat. Dead Man's Plate, rare armor, and then you have an awesome piece of artwork for Powder Keg. So there it is. There's a lot to chew on there with those new subclasses. That's kind of neat. Again, this is entirely new stuff. They're kind of feeling things out, I think. I don't know the business relationship, so it's neat that you're getting it for free. Just get on D&D Beyond, and you've got that interface to make it real efficient to navigate your way through. If you want to run the adventure here, just mouse over things, you'll get different stat blocks popping up. It shows that, they're latching on to all the content that could be in the world of Runeterra and Bilgewater. And it just screams to me and, lets me know, hey, I'd like to see a 400-page book within this world. And then you're pulling from those resources of Riot Games and sort of their approval and the amount of artwork they have. I mean, this is just a win-win across the board, and for some immediate stuff that I think you can use if you feel like those subclasses are a good fit for you. They're definitely very exciting. Very, very cool. I really like the wild card and I like the Renegade a lot. So there it is. Just wanted to run through that. That's all I have for you folks. Thanks everyone for watching, and take care.